Welcome to SM Movie Recaps Review Channel. Today we're talking about the drama Queen of Hearts, a film full of shocking twists that will leave you stunned. Anne is a successful lawyer who seems to have the perfect life. She's a loving wife and mother to twin daughters. The story begins when Anne meets with a client who has gone through something terrible. A stranger hurt this young woman even though she said no. Anne wants to help her client by taking the case to court and making sure the bad person goes to jail. She tells the girl to be brave and tell the truth in court. The client visits Anne again and says she's too scared to appear in court. Anne tries to make her feel better and tells her everything will work out fine. But after the court hearing, the man who hurt the girl is set free. This shows how difficult it can be for victims to get justice. Around the same time, Gustav arrives at Anne's home. He's the teenage son of Anne's husband Peter from his first marriage. Gustav has been causing trouble at school and got kicked out. His mother is tired of dealing with his bad behavior, so she sends him to live with his father. Gustav now has two choices: stay with his father's new family in Denmark, or go to a boarding school. Anne thinks Gustav should stay with them because he hasn't done anything really wrong and deserves to be happy. When Anne's twin daughters meet their older stepbrother, they give him drawings they made just for him. But later, Anne sees that Gustav threw away their gift. She picks it up and puts it in her bag, feeling sad that he didn't appreciate his sister's kindness. A few days later, Anne and her daughters come home from a walk and hear Peter arguing with Gustav. The boy wants to live on his own, but he's too young and needs adult care. Anne supports her husband, but asks him to be nicer to Gustav. The next morning, when Anne comes home from work, she discovers that someone has broken into their house and stolen things. She tells her husband what happened, calls the police, and makes a list of everything that was taken. That evening, while putting clothes in the washing machine, she finds the gift from Gustav's pocket. The same gift that was in her bag. Anne realizes that Gustav must have taken it from her bag, which means he was probably the one who robbed their house. The next day, Anne decides to talk to Gustav about what she found. Even though Gustav doesn't admit to stealing from them, Anne is an experienced lawyer and can tell when someone is lying. She gives him three choices: tell his father the truth and go to an orphanage, go to jail, or try to be a better part of their family. Gustav chooses to stay and tries to improve his relationship with Anne and his younger sisters. During a family picnic by the lake, Gustav plays with the girls and even does a pretend interview with them, showing he's trying to be a good big brother. One evening, Gustav brings home a friend named Amanda and says their date didn't go well, so Amanda will stay the night. Later, Anne hears screaming from Gustav's bedroom and goes to check on them. After another day at work, Anne tries to be romantic with her husband Peter, but he's too busy preparing for an important business trip to pay attention to her. During another family picnic by the lake, everyone has a great time. Anne goes swimming and playfully splashes water with Gustav. That evening, after putting the girls to bed, Anne and Gustav have a nice conversation. Anne notices Gustav's tattoo, and he offers to give her a small tattoo on her arm. At first, she says no, but then she agrees. A few days later, Anne and Peter have guests over for a party. Anne gets bored with the adult conversation and decides to drink some alcohol and listen to music. She leaves the party and meets Gustav, who is planning to go to a local bar. Anne joins him, and they become even closer. When Gustav gets tired and has to leave, Anne kisses him on the lips goodbye. When Anne returns home, her husband starts an argument because she left him alone to entertain their guests, which was rude. The next morning, the family plays hide and seek. By chance, Anne and Gustav end up hiding in the same place. When Gustav touches her hand, Anne feels something she shouldn't feel toward her stepson. That evening, Anne can't sleep, so she goes to Gustav's bedroom. What happens next is inappropriate and wrong. Anne begins an illegal and harmful relationship with her teenage stepson. The next day, Anne goes shopping and buys Gustav an expensive laptop. Peter doesn't think this expensive gift was necessary. That evening, after Anne and Peter return from a party, they spend time together as a couple. Later, Anne plans to exercise with Gustav, but Peter comes home earlier than expected. Anne barely manages to avoid getting caught in a strange situation. After this close call, Anne and Gustav sneak away to the forest to continue their inappropriate relationship. Gustav continues to ask Anne childish and strange questions during their secret meetings. Soon after, Anne's twin daughters Fanny and Frida celebrate their birthday. Anne's sister Lena comes to the party and decides to give the twins water guns as gifts. Anne goes to get water for the guns, and Gustav follows her. They start being inappropriate again, but Lena sees her sister kissing Gustav. Lena quickly leaves the party, showing how upset she is with Anne. Anne becomes scared that she might lose her family and starts ignoring Gustav gets angry about this and climbs a tree to ruin the party. When he falls to the ground, he pretends to be hurt, but later it becomes clear he was just joking to get attention. The next morning, Anne tries to talk to Gustav and tell him that their relationship has to end. Gustav doesn't take the breakup well and threatens to tell his father Peter everything about what they've been doing. Meanwhile, Peter tries to improve his relationship with his son and decides to take Gustav to Sweden for a few days. While her husband and Gustav are away, Anne tries to make up with her sister Lena. When Anne visits her, she tries to explain what she did, but Lena doesn't want to hear it. Lena doesn't believe that the relationship with Gustav is really over and tells Anne to leave immediately. Anne continues to feel nervous and worried that Gustav will tell Peter about their relationship. She really wants to talk to Gustav, but can't reach him. On her way home, Anne gets into a car accident because she's so distracted by her worries. When Anne returns home, she sees that Peter and Gustav are back from their trip. Peter's behavior seems suspicious to her. After putting the children to bed, Peter tells Anne not to go anywhere because they need to have a serious conversation. Gustav has told his father about the inappropriate relationship. To defend herself, Anne says that everything Gustav told his father is a lie created by the boy's imagination. She says she won't tolerate such accusations and is ready to get a divorce. Anne packs her things and says she's leaving for a few days. Hearing his wife's emotional reaction, Peter starts to believe her instead of his son and tries to comfort her. After making up with Anne, the couple decides to send Gustav to an orphanage. The next morning, Anne sneaks into Gustav's room and finds tapes of the interviews he recorded with her. Hearing her own voice on the recordings, she steals them to destroy the evidence of their relationship. Soon the couple tries to talk to Gustav again. The boy is very hurt that his father doesn't believe him. Anne continues to act innocent, which only makes Gustav more angry. Gustav spits in Anne's face and walks away. Shortly after, Peter packs his son's belongings and takes him away. The twin girls are very sad about their brother leaving and hope to visit him soon. Anne continues her work as a lawyer and takes on a new client named Sarah. This is a girl whose father did terrible things to her. Anne works hard to help save the girl. After some time, Sarah comes to Anne's house to thank her for her work. Sarah's father is sent for mandatory treatment, and until he gets better, Sarah will live with foster parents who turn out to be very kind and caring. On her way to work, Anne meets Gustav, who demands that she confess everything to Peter. If she doesn't, he threatens to report her to the police. Their relationship was illegal, and as an experienced lawyer, Anne should know this. Using her legal knowledge, Anne tells Gustav that he has no proof, and she's not afraid of his words because no one will believe him. Anne suggests they both forget everything that happened between them, but Gustav can't handle his emotions. He's in great pain because his father doesn't believe him. That night, Gustav breaks into the house, but Anne pushes him away and makes him leave. A few days later, Anne celebrates her birthday. Lena comes to visit her sister and is ready to forget everything that happened earlier. At the end of the evening, Peter tells Anne that his ex-wife called him to report that Gus, Tav, has disappeared. A few months later, the police call Peter to come to Sweden. When he returns home, he reports that Gustav's body was found in the woods near their home. It turns out Gustav had been dead for several months and was discovered by hunters. Anne locks herself in the bathroom, cries, and sees Gustav in the mirror's reflection. Later, she tries to talk to her husband, but he won't listen to her. The next morning, the family gets ready, gets in their car, and drives to Gustav's funeral. The story ends on this tragic note, showing how Anne's terrible choices led to devastating consequences for everyone involved. This disturbing film shows how one person's bad decisions can destroy an entire family and lead to tragedy. Thank you for watching our review. Please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and ring the bell to get notified about our new videos.